then once you rip the Band-Aid, you'll be in the green anyways. The property is going to be worth $437,000. Once you rip the Band-Aid, increase the rates to what the competition is, and then be more competitive, then you're going to have this property valued at $437,000. But you have to buy it at $195,000, right? So if we go back to the $399,000 purchase price, obviously it's only worth that. It's worth that if you actually increase the rates. And I see this all the time. People are basing their numbers on what the market could be, and you don't really want to do this. Now, it's okay to pay a little bit more for a facility, right? If you know that you're going to double the value on the back end. But on this facility, I mean, obviously this is not a good deal. 48 units, that's only making $34,000, is only really worth a little over 200 grand. I wouldn't pay 400 grand for a property that's worth 200 grand. Now I may pay 250 grand. I may come in and say, okay, I'll do 250 on this deal, right? And I mean, that's at a 6 cap. It's 250, So, so I wouldn't pay $399,000, and you should not pay $399,000. Nobody should be paying $399,000 for that deal. But the wholesaler essentially was just running the numbers off of this deal, off of this number, which is why it is very, very important to be looking at the competition and to be looking at, what you think you could be charging versus what you are charging right now. Now we only know this much. I mean, essentially we don't know if we can add on. We don't know anything else except for what was on that pro forma that I showed at the beginning of the session. So this is it, right? So my final offer is $250,000. I'll come out of pocket for the first 6 months or so to get it, up and running and current. I'll borrow money from a private lender. And then after a year of owning this thing, when I have 1 year of tax return, I'll refinance out and get a better loan. All right. I'll go get a loan from a bank. Okay. Now, or you could just buy it at 195,000. Right, and then that would be able to give you a green light in order to go to a bank and get a loan. All right, a bank at this price, a bank would definitely loan on this. Okay, so that is basically the deal analysis there. And then I just wanted to make sure that you knew kind of how to look at the numbers, right? So this is the current numbers right now. This is based on it was based on what, $195,000, right? So the current valuation comes out to $261,000 with equity at $64,000 or $65,000, right? You have your gross potential rents at $37,548 minus your insurance and expenses and all this kind of stuff here, which makes your NOI, right, $15,717. Okay, now if you take a mortgage out, if you don't pay cash for it and you take a mortgage, then you're going to be netting $3,400. So essentially all that work for $3,400, right? Which is actually a no-go. We don't want to do that, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure on the after updates that you can increase the price. I mean, increase the prices, right? So that's really the key, is like, you don't want to get something that like, and I've looked at properties where the owner just increased the rates. He's like, I just increased the rates, so then there's no room to grow at all. I mean, some people may want to buy that, but I don't want to buy a property just for cash flow. I want to buy a property for cash flow and appreciation, right? So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind. But so let's just look at the after updates here. And it says essentially, the valuation is $437,000. You're going to have $240,000 in equity, right? And your NOI after your income and expenses is going to be $26,000, and after your mortgage, it's $14,000. You make a little bit over $1,000 a month on this deal. All right. So that is really kind of the gist on how to look at a deal.